I didn't move in with him because I wanted to. I moved in with him because I had nowhere else to go. After the breakup, everything in my life felt temporary. My clothes were still in boxes, my heart still felt bruised. And the last person I expected to open his door to me was my ex's best friend. Just until you figure things out, he said. I should have said no, because there are some lines you don't even stand near, and he was one of them. The first night felt awkward in a quiet way, not uncomfortable, just careful. We ate dinner on opposite sides of the table, talked about small things, weather, work, anything but the obvious. He never mentioned my ex. I appreciated that more than I wanted to admit. You can take the bedroom, he said. I'll crash on the couch. I frowned. That's not fair, he shrugged. You've had a rough few weeks. That was him, always considerate, always solid. Even when my ex and I were together, he was the calm one, the listener, the one who noticed when I was too quiet, which was exactly why I promised myself I would never feel anything for him. Living together made that promise harder every day. He made coffee the same way every morning, strong, no sugar. He always knocked before entering my room. And sometimes, late at night, I'd hear him pacing the living room when he couldn't sleep. One evening, I found him sitting on the floor, back against the couch, lights off, just breathing. You okay? I asked softly. He looked up, surprised. Yeah, just thinking. I sat down across from him, leaving space between us. I don't want this to be weird, he said after a moment. You being here? It's already a little weird, I admitted, then smiled. But not bad. He smiled back. That smile stayed with me longer than it should have. A few days later, the power went out. Storm, heavy rain, darkness fills the apartment. Great, he muttered, grabbing a flashlight. We ended up sitting on the couch together, candles flickering between us, too close, close enough to feel his warmth. You don't have to stay here, he said quietly. If this is uncomfortable, I shook my head. It's not. That was the truth, and that scared me. The rain got louder, the silence between us did too. I should tell you something, he said suddenly. I looked at him. What? He hesitated, then said, I didn't want you to move in, because I was worried. Worried about what? His eyes met mine. About feeling things I shouldn't. My heart skipped, hard. I swallowed. We should be careful. I know, he said. That's what I've been trying to do. Our hands were resting on the couch between us, so close they were almost touching. Neither of us moved, and in that moment, I knew something had already changed, because promises are easy to make, but living this close to someone you're not allowed to love, that's where lines start to blur. After that night, we both tried to act normal. Normal breakfasts, normal conversations, normal distance. But something had shifted. He stopped sleeping on the couch and moved back to his room. I told myself that was a good thing. Still, I missed the sound of him pacing late at night. One afternoon, I came home earlier than usual. He was in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, music playing softly. He looked relaxed, at ease in a way I hadn't seen before. Hey, he said, smiling, that smile again. You hungry? He asked. I made too much. I nodded. Yeah, thanks. We ate together, shoulders brushing once by accident. Neither of us apologized. Later, we sat on opposite ends of the couch, a movie playing that neither of us was really watching. You've been quiet, he said. I've been tired, I replied. He studied me for a moment. Breakups don't just end when people leave. That caught me off guard. No, I admitted. They don't. Silence settled between us, but it felt safe. I hated watching you hurt, he said quietly. I turned to him. You never said anything. I didn't think it was my place. That's when I realized something dangerous. He had always been there for me, even when I didn't notice. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stood in the hallway, debating whether to get water or just lie back down and stare at the ceiling. His door was open. Light spilled into the hall. You okay? He asked when he saw me. I hesitated, then nodded. Couldn't sleep. Me neither, he said. Come sit. I did. We sat on the edge of his bed, not touching, just close enough to feel each other breathe. You ever miss someone even when you know it's over? I asked. All the time, he said, but missing doesn't mean going back. I looked at him then. What does it mean? He met my eyes. It means you let yourself feel it and keep moving. Something in my chest loosened. Without thinking, I leaned into him, just slightly. He froze, then slowly, carefully, he rested his arm around my shoulders, not tight, not possessive, just there. I exhaled. It felt like being held together after coming apart. I don't want to cross a line, I whispered. He nodded. Me neither. But neither of us moved away. And as I rested my head against his shoulder, I knew the truth. Comfort can be dangerous. Because when someone becomes the place you feel safest, walking away starts to feel impossible. After that night, everything felt closer. Not louder, not dramatic, just closer. He started waiting up for me when I worked late. I started saving him the last cup of coffee in the morning. Small things, dangerous things. We never talked about what happened on his bed, the arm around my shoulders, the way I'd fit there too easily. But it lived between us. Every glance lasted half a second longer. Every shared silence felt heavier. One evening, he came home soaked from the rain. Storm came out of nowhere, he said, kicking off his shoes. I grabbed a towel and handed it to him without thinking. Our fingers brushed, again. We both froze. Sorry, I said automatically. Don't, he replied, too quickly. Please don't. I looked up. His expression wasn't confused anymore. It was restrained. I'm trying so hard to do the right thing, he said quietly. My heart pounded. So am I. But, he asked. But it feels like we're pretending nothing's happening when it clearly is. He exhaled slowly, like he'd been holding his breath for days. I think about you more than I should, he admitted, and I hate that it feels natural. That honesty cracked something open inside me. I stepped closer, not touching yet. I don't want to hurt anyone, I said, especially not him. I know, he said. That's why this scares me. We stood there, the rain tapping against the windows, the room warm and quiet. I reached out slowly, giving him time to stop me. He didn't. My hand rested against his chest. I could feel his heartbeat. Fast. Unsteady. He covered my hand with his, grounding it there. This is the line, he whispered. Right here. I swallowed. Then why does it feel like we crossed it days ago? He looked at me for a long moment, then leaned in. Not fast, not desperate. Our lips met softly, carefully. Like we were testing whether this was real. It was warm, comforting. Nothing like the rushed kisses I remembered from before. This felt chosen. He pulled back first, forehead resting against mine. We can't keep doing this, he said, voice shaking. I know, I replied, but neither of us stepped away. And that's when I realized something terrifying. This wasn't a mistake. This was the beginning. The kiss didn't make things clearer. It made everything heavier. We didn't talk about it the next morning. We avoided each other's eyes, moved around the apartment like we were sharing a secret that could break us. I told myself it was just a moment. But moments don't replay themselves in your head like that. That afternoon, my ex texted me. Hey, just checking in. Hope you're doing okay. My stomach twisted. I stared at the message for a long time. Then my phone buzzed again. Thanks for looking out for him. He's always been good to you. I felt sick because he had no idea how true that was. When I put my phone down, his best friend was standing in the doorway. You okay? He asked. I nodded too quickly. Yeah. He didn't believe me. Did he text you? He asked quietly. I hesitated, then nodded. Silence settled between us. I never wanted to betray him, he said. He's been my best friend since we were kids. I know, I whispered. That's why this feels wrong. He sat beside me, leaving space. Do you regret it? He asked. The question scared me. I thought about the kiss, how gentle it had been, how safe I'd felt. No, I admitted. But I hate that I don't. He closed his eyes briefly, like that was exactly what he'd been afraid of. I don't want to be the reason you lose him, I said. You're not, he replied firmly. This is on me too. He reached out, then stopped himself, hands hovering between us. I don't know how to fix this, he said softly. I looked at him. Maybe we don't rush to fix it. He opened his eyes. Maybe, I continued, we just decide not to lie anymore, to ourselves at least. He nodded slowly. That night, we sat together on the couch, not touching, just being close. And I realized something painful but true. Guilt doesn't mean love is wrong, it means people matter. And somehow, that made what we felt even more real. The truth doesn't always explode, sometimes it just shows up, in small ways. In the way he looked at me when he thought no one was watching. In the way I went still would whenever his name came up in conversation. In the silence that followed whenever my ex called. He came over one evening without warning. I was nearby, my ex said, standing at the door. Thought I'd say hi. My heart dropped. Yeah, his best friend said evenly. Come in. The three of us sat in the living room like strangers pretending to be normal. My ex laughed too loudly, talked too much, kept glancing between us. Finally, he stopped. Okay, he said slowly. What's going on? No one answered. He leaned back, eyes sharp now. You don't sit like that unless something's wrong. I opened my mouth, closed it again. Then his best friend spoke. This isn't easy, he said quietly, but I don't want to lie to you. My ex's smile faded. What are you talking about? Silence, thick, heavy. I care about him, his best friend continued. More than I expected, more than I planned. My ex stood up so fast his chair scraped the floor. You're kidding me, he said, looking at me. After everything? I never meant for this to happen, I said quickly. I tried to stop it. I know, his best friend said. This isn't on him alone. My ex laughed, but his eyes were wet. So you're choosing him. No one said the word choose, but the truth was already there. I need space, my ex said finally. Both of you? He walked out. The door closed, and the apartment felt empty in a way I'd never felt before. Later that night, I sat on the floor, back against the couch, shaking. He sat beside me, close but not touching. I'm sorry, I whispered. So am I, he said. But I won't pretend anymore. I looked at him. What if we lose him forever? He met my eyes. Then I'll grieve that, but I won't lie about loving you. That honesty broke me. I leaned into him, and this time, he held me fully. Not hiding, not rushing, just holding. I don't know how this ends, I said. He pressed his forehead to mine. I don't either, he replied. But I know I don't want to walk away. And in that moment, I understood something. Sometimes the hardest choice isn't between right and wrong. It's between comfort and truth. And we had already chosen the truth. The weeks after that were hard. There's no soft way to say it. My ex didn't call, didn't text, didn't show up. And every day I wondered if loving someone meant losing someone else forever. We didn't celebrate being together. We didn't rush into anything. We gave the silence room. I don't want this to feel like we won something, I told him one night, because someone got hurt. He nodded. I know. That's why I want to do this right. And somehow, that made me love him more. One afternoon, my phone buzzed. It was my ex. Can we talk? My heart pounded as I met him at a quiet cafe. He looked tired, older somehow. I was angry, he said honestly, and hurt. Mostly hurt. I never wanted to betray you, I replied. I know, he said. That's the worst part. He took a breath. But I also know you didn't look happy with me anymore, he continued. And I see the way you look at him. I swallowed hard. I don't forgive everything yet, he said. But I don't want to carry this forever. That was his way of letting go. And it meant everything. When I told his best friend, he didn't smile. He just closed his eyes for a moment and exhaled. Thank you for telling me, he said quietly. That night, we sat on the balcony together, city lights glowing below us. No fear this time, no guilt pressing down on our chests. Do you think we'll be okay? I asked. He turned toward me, brushing his thumb gently over my hand. I think we already are, he said. I leaned in, resting my head against his shoulder. This kiss was different, not careful, not stolen, just warm, just ours. Life didn't suddenly become perfect, but it became honest. We learned from each other slowly, built trust carefully, choose each other every day, not loudly, but steadily. One evening, as we cooked dinner together, he laughed and said, "You know, you were never supposed to move in here." I smiled. "I know. And I was never supposed to fall for you." I looked at him. Yet, here we are. He leaned in and kissed my forehead, soft, familiar, safe. And in that moment, I understood something simple and true. Love doesn't always arrive cleanly. Sometimes it comes through mess and mistakes. But when it stays, when it grows, when it chooses honesty over fear, it becomes home. And this time, love stayed.